Welcome to Super Easy Physics and Mathematics, SEPAM. The aim of this YouTube channel is to make the learning of physics and mathematics easy and fun for every student.
Subscribe and we will help you to easily upgrade your performance to an A+.
Paper. Draw a line. Question 1. Draw a line from each cell drawing to its corresponding function. Red blood cell transport oxygen. So we have chloroplast make sugar during photosynthesis. The sperm cell join with an egg. Root air absorb water and mineral from the soil for the plant. Then last we have the nerve cell. Nerve cell detect changes in the surrounding of the cell. To pollinate the stigma of a flower, you need anther, that is a pollen grain, but pollen grain is not here. Question number 2. Pierre reacts metal compound and acid to make 3 different salts. The table shows the compound and the acid Pierre uses. So the metal compound, you have calcium carbonate, sodium hydroxide, and potassium hydroxide. The acid, we have nitric acid, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. Then the salt that is made. Calcium nitrate, sodium sulfate, potassium chloride. When calcium carbonate reacts with nitric acid, a gas is made. The gas is carbon dioxide or carbon 4 oxide. This question is about the sun and the moon. Why does the sun appear to move across the sky? The earth spins on its axis, the earth moves, or the earth rotates. The sun is a source of light. Describe how we see the sun. Light travels from the sun to our eye. Light travels from the sun to the earth. Write down the name of another source of light in space. We have stars. Or you can mention the name of the stars. We have Sirius, Polaris, you have Star Vega. All those ones are the various stars. Moon is not a source of light. Explain why we see the moon. The moon reflects sunlight. Light from the sun bounces off the moon to the earth and travels to the earth. Question 4. The diagram shows 6 stages in the life cycle of a pear plant. The stages are not in correct order. Stages B and D has been done for us. So we have 1, you have the seed, germination, growing, flowering, pollination, then fruiting. The table shows the property of solid, liquid, and gas. Solid, arrangement of particles, closely packed together, movement of particles. They vibrate, liquid, they move slowly. Then gas, the particles are far apart. The particles move randomly. Question 5b. The diagram shows two gas jars that have just been joined together. Gas jar containing air, gas jar containing a brown gas. This diagram shows the two jars after 10 minutes later. Both jars contain a pale brown gas. Name the process that happened during the 10 minutes. Diffusion of gas. Describe how the process happened. Particles have spread out to fill the space. Random motion of the particle. Movement of particle from region of high concentration to one of low concentration. Question 6. Shen investigates how much a ruler bends when he adds different objects. He adds the object at position A. He writes down the result in the table. The weight of object and the distance the ruler bends after the object is added. Describe what happened as the weight of the object increases. The bending distance of the ruler from the horizontal line also increases. Explain why this happened. The value of the downward force or the weight of the object becomes larger or increases as more weights are added. Shen repeats the investigation. He moves the object closer to the clamp. The object has a weight of 2 Newton. Predict the distance the ruler will bend. As the distance of the load from the clamp reduces, the bending of the ruler reduces. Put any value less than 4 cm, but not 0, 3 cm. Explain your prediction in B. Use idea about the principle of moment in your answer. Moment is equal to weight times distance from the fulcrum. If the force is the same and the distance between the force and the fulcrum is decreased, the moment also decreases. Question 7. The diagram shows the human respiratory system. Circle the letter on the diagram that identify the diaphragm. So let's label the parts: trachea, diaphragm, lungs, and rib. So diaphragm is B. Write down one function of the diaphragm. To breathe air in or move air in and out of the lung, the diaphragm contracts and pulls up. To inhale air, the diaphragm pulls up. To exhale air, the diaphragm pulls down. To inhale air, the diaphragm pulls down, and to exhale air, the diaphragm pulls up. Diaphragm controls pushing air or oxygen into and out of the lungs. It separates thorax from the abdomen. Diaphragm controls the volume in the thoracic cavity. When it pulls up, the volume of the thoracic cavity increases and the lung expands and air is drawn into the lungs. Write down one function of air sac alveolus inside the lung. Air sac or alveolus control the gaseous exchange in the lung. Air sac help to take up oxygen from the lungs into the blood. Air sac helps to remove carbon dioxide from the blood into the lungs. Describe one way the air sac are adapted for this function. Air sac have large surface area. Air sac have thin membrane. Air sac have permeable membrane that allow gases to diffuse through the layers. Air sac have elastic wall. Air sac have moist wall with good blood supply. Air sac wall are surrounded by capillaries that increases the surface area. Question A. The diagram shows an atom of hydrogen. The nucleus contains only one particle. Complete the label on the diagram. Electron, proton. Chemical symbol of hydrogen, H. Urine investigates why the size of the leg of an elephant is different from the size of the leg of a horse. Elephant is 5,000 kilogram, while horse is 500 kilogram. We use modeling clay to make different size cylinder. Yuri placed one cylinder on a desk. He placed 100 gram mass on top of the cylinder until the cylinder starts to squash and change the shape. Yuri tests two different diameters of cylinder. The cylinders are all cut to the same length. Explain why this is important. The constant length is a control variable. Keeping the diameter of the cylinder constant is to make the investigation a fair test. Keeping the diameter of the cylinder is to help in comparing results. What equipment does Yuri use to measure the diameter of the cylinder? He used a ruler, or use caliper, he used a meter rule, he used measuring tape. Yuri used two cylinders for each diameter. Explain why using two cylinders is important. To look for consistency in tests. To enable average to be taken. To check for error. To make the result more reliable. Question 10. Wind is energy resource. Wind turbines supplying energy. Suggest two disadvantages of using wind turbine. Daily, it is not always windy. Energy generation not constant because of fluctuation in the speed of wind. More disadvantages. Wind turbines are often installed in remote places. Wind turbine is noisy. Wind turbines spoil views. Wind turbines kill birds. Wind turbines are difficult to connect to the electric grid. People in many countries are trying to increase the number of wind turbines, so guess why? Energy needs are increasing. Wind turbine is renewable energy source. Running out of non-renewable fuel. Wind turbine does not produce pollution. It does not produce greenhouse gases or harmful gases. Wind turbine is cheap to use. It's not expensive. Question 11. Gasoline burned in oxygen to make carbon dioxide and water. Circle two words in two words that describe this reaction. Exothermic reaction because it gives us thermal energy, and oxidation. Gasoline plus oxygen will give you carbon dioxide and water. Question 12. The diagram shows fungi growing on a piece of wood. Fungi are decomposer. What are decomposer? Organisms that live on dead or decaying material that breaks down dead tissue. Organisms that cause something to rot or decay or break down organic matter. Why are decomposers important? They help in recycling nutrients or minerals like nitrogen. Circle. They help in recycling carbon compound. They help in making manure. They help in making compost. They help in increasing soil fertility. Question 13. The diagram shows 5 arthropods. These arthropods all have jointed legs. V, W, S, Y, Z. So using the key, find the name of V, S, Y, Z. Does not have wind. Formica. That is X. Has wind and a pair of legs. That is Califora, V. Has wings and has two pairs of legs. Two pairs of wings, has wings and 2 pairs of wings. The Asna, W. Okay, it's an arachnid, has 4 pairs of legs and has a curved tail, a scorpion, that is Z. Then the last arachnid does not have a curved tail. Spider. That is the Giope. Lily investigates water pressure. Water is inside a container with hole in one side, A, B, C, D, and E. Where is the water pressure the greatest? Water pressure increases with depth, so E. Water pressure is calculated with the density of water multiplied by the gravity strength multiplied by the depth of water. So the water pressure is rho GH. So water pressure increases with depth H. Water is inside a different shaped container. Compare the pressure at FGH. Same pressure because it's at the same level, so it's the same vertical depth. Question 15. Potassium is an element in group 1 of the periodic table. Look at the word equation. Potassium plus water, potassium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Write down the name of one product in this reaction, potassium, hydroxide, or hydrogen. Any of them. Look at the order of the element in group 1 of the periodic table. What is the chemical symbol of potassium? K, which from the Greek word kalium. Reactivity increases down the group of metal. Predict which element have fastest with water. That will be francium. Question 16. Angeli measured the temperature of 3 samples of water. 0 degrees Celsius, minus 11 degrees Celsius, and 32.5 degrees Celsius. We've come to the end of April paper 2, 2022. Science paper 2, April.
Subscribe and we will help you to easily upgrade your performance to an A+.
SEPAM is the solution to better grades.